So, Lord of the Rings Online, a game based on one of the best-selling and most beautifully written books of all time, and a movie series regarded as one of the best, if not the best, movie series ever to be made, and Lord of the Rings Online is just as good, right? Well, unfortunately, it's really none of these things. But, is it really that bad though? Well, let's find out. My name is Ace, and let's explore the wonderful world of Middle-earth. So, as soon as I jump into the game, one thing I immediately notice is that I have no sound. And so upon restarting the game, as you can see, I had the sound in the intro. As soon as I jump into the game itself, there's no sound. But I thought, you know what, we're gonna figure it out. For now, let's look at the characters. And as you can see, there are many characters to choose from, many classes and many races, so that is awesome. As soon as I created one, I jumped into the settings, I looked up on audio, and everything seems to be okay. I decided to do another restart, and the same story, I had a sound on intro, but nothing after that. So I was very confused, where's the sound? Why I have no sound? And then I figured it out, that I actually need to choose my sound output, because I have a headphones amplifier, I needed to choose for a sound to go through it. While of course that makes sense, but when is the last time you had to do this in the game? Last time I had to do this was probably 15 years or something, if not more, to be honest. But you know what? That's okay. It's somewhat on the game, it's somewhat on the me. Let's split it in the middle and say it's a little bit of both of our faults. Just a quick side note before we continue. If you do enjoy this type of content, do consider subscribing to the channel and maybe checking me out on Twitch. I do lives every now and then. Currently I'm playing Lost Ark. Obviously I'm gonna be playing more games as well. Be sure to join us there. Let's chat around, play some games, have some fun, and just have a good time in general. Link to a Twitch channel in the description below. Now let's get back to the video. As soon as I open up my inventory, I noticed that the inventory looks a little bit like in WoW, which was kinda cool. Once I walked out of this building and took a look around, on one hand, the graphics are not insanely bad. On the other hand, when you start looking a little bit closer to things, they do seem very outdated and very old. Of course, that's because it is, but if you consider that this is not a single player game and they have the ability to update it, you would assume it should be maybe a little bit up to date by now. Once this guy opened the gates, I got stunned, and I had to be stunned like this for like a long time, which was kinda weird to be honest. This guy was here fighting and I was just standing here stunned, and then he saved us. But one amazing thing about this game for me is the voice acting. Just listen to this.
Testament to the greed of Skorgrim Dowerhand. 600 years after its fall, dwarves inhabit the ancient halls in the mountains, and Elrond of Rivendell, sensing a threat, has sent his sons Elrohir and Eladan, along with a company of elves to investigate.
This is not just good for 2007, this is full-blown good for today. The game has an amazing voice acting. And if you're wondering what the map looks like, here you go. This is what a map looks. Unfortunately, the map is a huge disappointment, and I do mean just the UI. The map itself doesn't look that bad, but as a map it is extremely difficult to use. As you can see, I jump from this mountain here, and of course for this guy that's no big deal. You know, he just walks it off, which is, you know, kinda cool. Then I found this lake, and as you can see it's frozen, and the graphics of the ice is just amazing. As you can see, just yeah. After doing a little bit more questing, I found this guy here, and I was extremely surprised because if you look closely, it is a living, breathing human being playing this game. And it completely took me by surprise because this map felt like a wasteland. Then we jumped this mountain again, and then we enter into our first dungeon. Upon entering here, I thought, great, finally some fighting, maybe a good boss fight or something, or just an interesting dungeon in itself. And what do we get? We need to kill 4 of these. As you can see, the fighting skills could definitely use a little bit of work. And then we found this guy again, which, if you think about it, what are the actual odds to find a playing person in this dungeon with you in the same time, in the same year, in the same universe? I think it's pretty slim. We got lucky here. Once we collected a few of these red flowers, we were able to go back now, but I thought, you know, let's explore. I mean, maybe the dungeon has more to offer. Unfortunately, the monsters just, well, they didn't care that we were here. As far as they're concerned, we don't exist. They don't care. And then I saw this guy and I thought, great, I'm gonna go next to him, he's gonna awake, and we're gonna have a boss fight. And no, there was nothing. There was no boss fight or anything, it was just a statue. And when I got here, that's it. That's the end of the dungeon. Of course, I had to do the one thing on everybody's mind. What if we jump? Unfortunately, I was not able to do that. And so we make our way back to the guy that gave us the quest, and once we come to him, we deliver the quest, and now we're able to move on. And then I jumped here, and look at it. This was like 5 times smaller of a jump, and I broke my leg. Of course I broke my leg if I walk, but if I stand, no big deal, no biggie. And then I immediately recovered. And then I found yet another person. So guys, let me tell you, there's actually people still playing this game, believe it or not. I honestly legitimately thought I'm not gonna see anybody in this game, at least not in the starting areas, but I did. And then this guy was like, hey, I have a quest for you. I finished the first quest and then I opened another one, and immediately after opening another one and clicking accept, it threw me into this website here and asked me to buy. So the game actively throws you into the item shop and wants you to buy this item because it's a part of the quest. And of course I didn't have any coins, so I had to check around the prices. Not gonna buy anything, of course, wanted to check around. And if you were wondering what are the prices, here they are. Then I noticed there is actually a first quest that gives those 10 coins that you need, and then you can actually go back into the shop, buy the item, go back into the quest, deliver the item, and finish the quest, which is okay and everything, but the game actively promotes pay to win, which is not off to a best start. And then I got the horse, and how do I say it nicely? Just look at this movement. Yeah, kind of weird, but you know, we can live with that. After killing a few bears, I had to inspect their, how do we say, poopity boop. And afterwards, I got into another dungeon and I thought, great, surely the second dungeon is gonna be a lot more interesting. No, unfortunately not. I killed a few of the skeletons, I took a few flowers, I actually killed one of these guys, which was a little bit more interesting, and that's about it. And I went back. Once I went back, I actually fall here. Just a pretty weird animation, but you know, it's fine. And then we got into our third dungeon, and this one looked like it's gonna be a big one. Me and the boys just running here, trying to save a day. What an adventure. What an adventure awaits us. Just look at us. Just me and the boys. And then we faced these guys here, and we had to fight them. And of course, fighting animations are not the best in this game, but at least you can move while you're fighting, so you know. Some of these new games even today have something to learn about that. I'm looking at you. All of the games where you're casting and you cannot move, yeah, you know who you are. But anyway, once we defeated those guys, we went here and we were looking at this ritual here, and then this guy stunned us. And guys, I kid you not, we were standing like this stunned for a better part of like 4 or 5 minutes. This is sped up times 8, and just look at how long we're still standing. It was a ridiculously long stand. Afterwards, we tried to catch them, we didn't make it, the building started to collapse, and we needed to make our way around. Guys, if you didn't notice I'm here, why are you running there? Anyway, and if you think there's gonna be a big boss fight at the end, I have to bring you bad news. This is the boss. This is the final boss of the dungeon. This is all you get. And then I saw the statue in the distance, and for a brief second, I didn't realize that this is actually a statue, and I thought maybe there's an actual boss fight here. And then once I come closer, unfortunately, it was just a statue. Yeah. But once we move out, we end up in this area here, and this is a much prettier looking area. If you look at the water is actually pretty decent quality. Of course, I tried to jump into the water because, you know, you had to test if you're gonna drown, you know, just like in every game. I wasn't drowning, but unfortunately I wasn't able to go back either, which was unfortunate. But thankfully I did have a return skill, so I managed to return myself, and that's how I saved myself from drowning. Oh, not drowning, just being stuck in the water. And after that, I decided that I had enough of questing, and I just wanted to explore the world of Lord of the Rings Online. And so I just went around running. As you can see, running in this game is pretty cool. You can just go sideways, but still go straight. Kinda cool. Probably not the way it's supposed to be, but hey, you know, at least this game has something unique, right? I'm just kidding. All of the Lords of the Ring Online fans, please don't cancel me. So anyway, what are my thoughts about this game? What are the pros? What are the cons? And what do you think about the game? So let's start with the pros. On one hand, for a 2007 game, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty decent. If I was playing in 2007, I would be happy. But for nowadays, I feel like they left it out a little bit. It could be a little bit more updated. It could have more of a graphical updates, because for 2023, it definitely feels very outdated. And I know that it is an old game, but like I said, this is not a story game. They can update it anytime they want. They just chose not to. Probably the best thing for me in this game has to be the voice acting. It's not just good for an old game, it's not just good for this game, it is just great. It's one of the best voice actings I heard in any game. It is absolutely amazing. The world does feel like a rather massive one. I only have explored just a tiny bit of it, but I do feel like there's a lot more to go. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring myself to go any further. There's a whole bunch of classes, race, and everything, and I love how you can play any class with any race. Some of the games should take notes from that. The game still feels like it has a pretty decent community. Yes, I've only seen a few people, but I have been looking around, and as you can see, there's a whole bunch of people still playing, commenting, and just seem to be having a good time in this game. So at least the community isn't completely dead. I'm pretty sure if you get far enough into the game, you're gonna start meeting the people, but again, you need to get that far enough into the game. And considering all the selections of games you can play, it's gonna be pretty difficult to get there. Some of the negatives of the game: I absolutely hated the map, but it was completely and utterly useless. The UI and menus, some of them feel okay, some of them actually feel like you shouldn't even change them to this day, but some do feel very outdated. The game, of course, just immediately throws you into the pay-to-win situation, which is always a negative, of course. I know it's a free-to-play old game, and they need to make money somehow, but you should not have quests that legitimately opens your browser and asks to buy an item. That should not be happening. So the way I see it is this: if you played this game before, you liked it, you know everything about this game, you have the nostalgia going on, there's still a community that's playing this game, maybe you should go for it. Maybe you should still play it. Maybe it's your childhood game and you still enjoy it to this day, or just nostalgia kicks in and you want to have a go every now and then. And that is absolutely fine. If you are one of those people, I'm actually happy that the game is still alive, that there is still an alive community going for it, because some of the games I used to play in my childhood, they are either no longer available or they are completely dead with the dead communities. Even if the nostalgia kicks in and I just want to play for a couple of days, it is unfortunately not possible. Now, if you are a new player and you're wondering if you should start playing Lord of the Rings Online, or at least give it a go, my answer would be, unfortunately, not. If you do manage to get into this game far enough, maybe you'll find something you like, maybe you'll find a community you enjoy spending the time with, but truthfully, you're probably gonna turn this game on, try it, play it for 10 minutes, realize how old it is, how old the graphics are, how terribly looking skills are, just in general how old the game feels, you'll probably just turn it off anyway. Let's be real, even in 2007 there were far better games to play than this, and right now it's 2023 and the game feels like it's been barely updated. I know that they are bringing new content and everything into the game, which is amazing for the players who already played this game for a while, but for a new player that might as well mean nothing, because you're probably not gonna get there. I do feel like the game has some hidden potential. It has an amazing voice acting, it has an amazing beautiful music. Some of these areas look very beautiful. Yes, the graphics are bad, but if you look past the graphics, the areas do indeed look pretty good. The only thing they need is just a graphical update. But unfortunately, that isn't likely to happen. There are rumors going on that there might be a new one, Lord of the Rings Online 2, and that one might be amazing. But for now, that's all we have, and my suggestion for you would be, if you are a new player in this game, probably avoid it. Maybe give it a go, but don't expect anything too much from this game. It's an old 2007 game, and that's about all that it is. Now, if you did enjoy this video, do consider subscribing and liking the video, if these are the types of contents you enjoy. But anyway guys, like always, I appreciate you watching, thank you for making all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.